What is up, guys? Marcellus Williams, aka TheSwolefessor, here to educate you on health and social well-being, and this is episode 5 of Time to Build. What you guys are about to see is going to be today's pull focus day. Like I told you guys last week, I showed you 4 of the 5 days on this program. The only day I didn't show you was day 4, which is what today is, so you're going to be able to see that. My friend Y2, you guys have seen her on the channel before, she joined me. Today is a pull focus day, so it was Pendlay Rows, sumo deadlifts, weighted chin-ups, and a bunch of bicep and back accessory movements. Now, before that comes on screen, you guys get to see and enjoy all that, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of catch you guys up with what this week's been looking like, as well as take you kind of through what my initial starting points were as far as measurements, everything of that nature, just so you guys have an idea of like what's gone on this week. And ordinarily what I'll try to do is pretty much have it to where, you know, there's 1 to 2 videos to this series that you guys see a week. So, you know, it may be the upper day, the lower body day, the leg hypertrophy day, pull day, just, you know, I'll alternate it each week, but I'll always kind of give you guys an update as far as like what everything is looking like from week to week. But it's really cool because, like I said, last week you guys kind of saw what the program was looking like, but you didn't get to really see how like the main movements work since I was just testing. So let me take you guys through that really quickly just so you have an idea of like what everything kind of looks like. So, clear up. So starting off on day 1, I had bench press for 3 sets of 6 with 255 pounds, and then Pendlay rows, 4 sets of 7 with 195 pounds. Now, what's interesting is each day there's something special I have to do with the select movement. So where the green cells are, that means after I do my regular working sets, I have to do an AMRAP set. So my AMRAP for that day, after my 3 working sets, was with 245 pounds, and I managed to get that for 5 reps. And right now, guys, that's kind of like even though all the weight is kind of like sub-maximal weight, sub-maximal training that it has me doing, I'm having to like get readjusted with working with higher rep ranges, not just with the main list, but like with my accessory stuff, like especially like the 15 plus rep sets. That's why I enjoy concurrent training so much, guys, just because of the fact that it basically it allowed me to stay trained in all rep ranges. Like, I had my heavy days, my moderate days, my higher rep range days. So I never felt bad regardless of what rep range I was working with. But when I went into full-on powerlifting prep for this previous meet I just did, the highest rep range I was working with was like maybe 6 reps. So my body's definitely having to readjust to that, but it should come back relatively quickly. Not a problem at all. And like I said, I'm easing back into everything just due to, you know, how, you know, your body feels and is impacted after a meet, especially competing in that meet, 5 pounds underweight. I'm just easing back into everything, trusting the program, trusting the numbers he has lined up, and then kind of going from there. Anyway, picking back up and continuing, showing you guys what's up. So then day 2 was, oh, clear up, there we go. Day 2 was 3 sets of 7 sumo deadlifts with just 250 pounds. So we're being very conservative with the deadlifts right now, just working on a form. And on this day, it's deadlifts and then lower body, and the focus is of course a controlled eccentric. Since the weight's so light, that's kind of what I'm focusing on, just like controlling the eccentric on the way down with my sumos, and they moved really well. They moved like extremely smooth. And yeah, like all 3 sets of 7 just moved really well. My form felt really good. So I was hoping that was going to feel just as good today, and it did for the most part. Anyway, day 3, which was yesterday, is a full-on push day. So you guys already know, like the chest, tri, and shoulder accessory work you guys saw that day. But what the actual compound movements is I just had 3 sets of 9 with 212. Like the close I had to that was 210 pounds on bench press. That moved really smooth, really easy, of course. And then 3 sets of 8 with 260 pounds on squat, followed by, once again, the green cell and AMRAP. And I had an AMRAP with 315 pounds. Once again, weight didn't feel heavy. It's just getting used to the conditioning of the higher rep ranges. And then today, which was day 4, which you guys are about to see, it is a pull focus day. So the main movements were Pendlay Rows with the controlled eccentric. So it's a little bit lighter than what I had on day 1. It was just 3 sets of 8 with 185 pounds, but with the controlled eccentric. So still explosive on the concentric motion, but I had to control the weight going down instead of just kind of letting it drop like you usually do with Pendlay Rows. And then for deadlifts on day 4, it's a little bit different. So I had 3 sets of 6 with 305 pounds. But before doing that, if you guys see these numbers in parentheses, what that means is that's kind of based off RPE. It means that I have 2 sets of 3, and what weight I do that with is kind of based off how I'm feeling. So here's kind of where the RPE comes in. It's cool because it's RPE, but I still have set numbers I can work with. So for week 1 and 2, the way it kind of works is if I have triples and I'm feeling tired, I can do 335. If I'm feeling okay, which I was today, 345 pounds. If I'm just feeling great and really want to kill it, 357.5 pounds. So that's kind of where the RPE comes from. I had to kind of know how I'm feeling that day, but I still have numbers to pick from. So I'm not just randomly or arbitrarily picking numbers for my RPE. So it's a great way of kind of learning the system going forward. Oh, that's accessory. So that's what I had today was 2 sets of 3 with 345 pounds, followed by 3 sets of 6 with 305 pounds. And then the rest was just like the accessory work. Like I said, the chin-ups, the chin-ups, the bicep work, and the back work, which you guys are about to see. But yeah, just kind of want to catch you up on that. Oh, almost forgot. Let me pull up the weigh-ins and the measurements. I told you guys that I would be doing that as well, so you guys could see what that's looking like. Let me show you that really quickly, and then don't worry, you guys will get to the workout. Matter of fact, I'll probably have on screen earlier in the video, like if you just want to skip to the workout, if you don't care about all this kind of stuff. But like I said, I just want to show you guys kind of like the process and hopefully help some of you as far as your own process. So here are my weigh-ins. Clear up, clear up. So here are my weigh-ins pretty much. I haven't put in today's yet, but I weighed in at 163.6 today. So I haven't put that in. And then, you know, has my fibers, my fats, my carbs, protein for the day, total calories, what the focus was for each day, just so I can kind of get a gauge of like for example, I tend to kind of weigh a little bit less after a leg focus day, more so than upper body day, which makes sense. So that's kind of what that's looking like in terms of weigh-ins. Right now I'm pretty much staying around like, you know, 160, 161. Like I said, today I weighed in at 163, and that in the first week, the initial spike, you see like 160, 162, 162. That's probably more so due just to my body getting used to having more carbs in it, holding on to water weight, and now it's kind of leveled off to where I'm like in the 161s as of right now. I'm not sure why I weighed in at 163 this morning. Like I said, I still have to put in the macros for yesterday. They put in my weigh-in and the macros for today once the day ends. In terms of my starting measurements, this, guys, is what we are working with. So my chest, 40.2 inches, right arm is 15.9 inches, left arm 15.6, 2 inches above my navel is 30.4, right at the navel itself 29.9, 2 inches below 30.5, hips 34.8, and my right thigh 22.5, left thigh 23. So my left leg has always been a little bit bigger than my right, and you know, that's kind of normal in the sense of, come on, there we go, that's kind of normal just in the sense of like everybody, no one's perfectly symmetrical, but I noticed especially like with my left, it just for whatever reason seems like it's noticeable to me. It may not be as noticeable to others, but I feel like someone actually paid attention to it, it's noticeable. So that's why I'm glad we have like Bulgarian split squats to hopefully help balance that out. Once again, a lot of that could have just been done to structural integrity, which I've talked about before. I'll leave that link in the description down below. You guys can see that video over like what truly causes muscle imbalances. A lot of people think it's like, oh, if you do any type of barbell work, it's going to automatically lead to muscle imbalances, and dumbbells are corrected. That's not necessarily the case. It's about structural integrity, but I'll let you guys check that out. But yeah, I was really happy to see that both my right and left thigh have gained a whole half an inch since I started powerlifting in 2015. So over the 2 years, I put on like half an inch onto my legs, which doesn't sound like much, but those of you who've been training long enough know that, you know, putting on half an inch or an inch to any muscle group takes quite a bit of like, you know, work and muscle building and everything like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to say, I wanted to show you guys, one thing I want to show you guys. Nothing else. Oh yeah. Just wanted to show you guys kind of like the measuring tape that I'll be using. It's called Myo tape. I'll show you guys next time. I don't feel like going to get it. But I'll show you guys next time. Just because it's like only $5 off Amazon. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. I just think it's really cool. It's really useful, and it helps you be more consistent than just your traditional tape measure. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the rest of the video. Hope you enjoyed the workout. Catch y'all later. Alright guys, I know you've heard me talk a lot this video, but just wanted to jump in for a voiceover really quickly to address a few things in this video that I feel like you guys would have questions about otherwise. So the first thing is Pendlay Rows. Now in the past, those of you who've been with the channel long enough know that I've described Pendlay Rows as a very explosive, power-based movement that has excellent carryover to the deadlifts, but they're also similar to the deadlifts in the fact that you want to focus on the concentric, but not so much the eccentric, in the sense of it's okay to kind of just come down with the weight. You don't want to go too slow with it or control it too much, because that can put a lot of pressure on your lower back as well as affect your recovery. But similar to the deadlift, guys, if you're using light submaximal loads, then focusing on the eccentric can be very beneficial just in terms of overall muscle building potential, because we know you get more bang for your buck when you do the concentric and eccentric part of the motion, and also just has great carryover as far as like keeping your core stable in other movements. Now in terms of my sumo deadlifts, once again guys, right now the focus is heavily on form, working on spraying the floor, keeping my butt tucked towards the bar, keeping my hips down, back tight, just building the weight back up gradually. I'm still not belting for anything under 405 pounds. And right now, all in all, everything's feeling pretty good. It's like, once again, kind of a blow to the ego to be working with such light weight, but it's okay because I know that I'm just building the form back up and that the weight will soon come thereafter. Now in terms of Y2's deadlift, her form all in all is good, trying to work on helping her to like really tighten up at the bottom and not bounce around so much. And speaking of bouncing, also trying to help her work on not doing touch and go, just because, as I've explained guys, that's very dangerous in the sense of you can't really properly load up your glutes and hamstrings when you do that, as well as the fact that you have to keep in mind it puts a lot of pressure on the lower back, and that's how a lot of people end up hurting themselves. Now after that, as I mentioned guys, we went into our sets of 6 with just lighter weight, so 305 pounds for me. Now a lot of you have been asking me, hey, since you know you're starting off lighter than what you've done in the past, are you really going to be able to effectively build muscle since you're doing less weight? It's about progressive overload. And the answer is yes guys. Keep in mind that muscle growth, yes, you have to gradually get stronger, progressively overload with your total volume that you're doing, but keep in mind that, for example, 3 sets of 3 with 450 pounds, which is around what I was doing for my reps when I was still pulling conventional, that's not as much total volume as 3 sets of 3 with 300, and no, my bad, 2 sets of 3 with 345 pounds, followed by 3 sets of 6 with 305 pounds. When you keep in mind that workload and total volume is based off sets times reps times weight. So I'm still stimulating more than enough volume for my body to grow, and just going to continually progressively overload and build up from this point. Now the last thing I just want to briefly touch on with you guys is weighted chin up. So right now I am only working with 100 pounds. I'm trying to build it back up to 3 sets of 10, and then once I do that, I can go up the weight up a little bit to 105 pounds. But basically, you know, since I took a few weeks away from the weighted chin-ups and weighted dips while peaking for my meet, I just have to ease back into the movement, guys. And that's the thing. Understand that submaximal training, it works, but also understand that even if it's not something you're trying to purposely do submaximal training with, let's just say something more like, hey, I stepped away from this movement for a few weeks, or hey, it's not a movement that I really like and consistent with, you're not going to be as strong with it. Like, yes, certain movements carry over to others, like, you know, certain presses may carry over to other presses, certain pulling motions may carry to other pulling motions, but ultimately you're not going to get as strong on a movement at a fastest rate of somebody who's doing, you know, good carryover movements for the movement, but also working on the movement directly itself. But just wanted to break that down so you guys kind of see what's up. The only other thing you guys may have a question about is like kind of the order of exercises, because as you all will see, we got through our major pulls being sumo deadlifts, Pendlay Rows, and chin-ups, but then you're going to see for the rest of this video that we go through quite a few bicep movements, then do a couple of more back movements, just, you know, some machines, and then finish off with a final bicep movement. But I'll dedicate a video to that on its own in terms of, like, you know, the order of exercises, how to determine that, does it matter, etc. But talk to you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed the rest of the video. Hope you enjoyed the video as a whole. If you did, go ahead and leave a comment down below, let me know what you did. If you're not, leave a comment down below letting me know what I can do to get better. Like the video, share, subscribe, keep it simple, specific, scientific, and I'll catch y'all later.